All right, July 16th, workout breakdown, leg strength month, back day. We are, I believe, 2 days removed from leg day, so there will be leg exercises baked into this workout. But just a straight lifting day, strict pull-ups, single arm, low row on the bench, ideally, whether you're kneeling or in the athletic position standing. Keep in mind, a little note on the single arm, low row, typically speaking, when you're in the athletic position, both feet on the ground, a little bit weaker than if you have another point of contact with your knee on the bench. So not that big of a deal, but just if you wanted to know that little nugget. Strict pull-ups, this is the part I really wanted to talk about, along with the leg stuff here. The 5 sets with a 1-minute timer recovery. You can go up to 10 sets. I just wanted to try to make something as clear as possible. So everybody, if you're using bands, and I don't want to box anybody on and say for certainty, like 100% that you should be doing this, but for the most part, if you're using bands, you guys should be aiming for 5 sets with the perfect amount of bands. Somewhere in that, whatever the most is, 5 to 10 reps, depending on where you are. Somebody could be aiming for 10 right now. Somebody could be at the 7 rep count with less bands. It just depends on the individual, but you should be aiming for 5 sets of the most precise amount of resistance help as possible, meaning the perfect amount of bands for you. Meaning that you shouldn't be aiming for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sets if you're still using bands. At that point, the volume, I don't believe is helping us very much. I would much rather you guys put all your energy and effort to using the least amount of bands as possible for 5 really clean, good sets, precise sets. Now, there is a world where maybe you realize you just have the wrong bands, or you have a little bit too much resistance, and you have a 1 or 2 wasted sets, and you have to do a 6th or a 7th set. But for the most part, like 5 sets, like that's the goal. And then the sets 6 through 10 are really there for the people that are just really seasoned, really conditioned, and aren't using any bands, and have just gotten to a point where the body weight may not be enough, and they need the added volume to do it for them. And those people, you could fall anywhere, I would think, from 5 to 10 reps. I feel more comfortable saying like 7 to 10. You should be doing more than you could be doing more than 5 sets. But there is a world where you just haven't progressed to a ridiculous amount of individual volume, and you're doing 5, 6, 7 body weight, obviously strict pull-ups, and you need the extra volume in terms of sets to continue to see improvement. So I just don't want to get twisted. I've seen a lot of people, heard a lot of people that are doing 8, 9, 10 sets with bands. And it's just, I just don't think you're using your time as efficiently as possible, nor are we getting kind of diminished returns out of it. So just keep that in mind. Full range of motion obviously goes a really long way with or without bands. Like you guys should be getting down into that dead hang even for a quarter of a second where your arms and shoulders are fully extended at the bottom of the movement. Like work on that in individual level. Disregard what other people are doing. Once you get through those 2 movements, I gave you guys 25 minutes here. I don't love 25 minutes. I would actually rather probably give you 27 or 28, mainly for the people that are doing more than 5 sets of pull-ups, but that should leave enough time for everybody to get to the bottom of this. We've done this before, the ball pickup to shoulder. I wanted to incorporate this not only for back day, but for the leg emphasis that kind of targets both. The ball pickup to shoulder is an incredible movement. It just totally dependent on if you go find the right weight. And for females, again, 70 and 100 for males, gold standard. Go find that weight. If you need to share with somebody, share with somebody. Obviously, the balls go to 150 pounds. I don't know there's a ton of people getting that up to their shoulder. But if you are capable of going up a weight class, not 150 pounds, but just going up a weight class and doing 1 or 2 at a time and taking a break, maybe, again, like I said, sharing it with somebody, you're going to get the most out of this. This movement, you are far better off doing way less than 30 reps and using the appropriate weight than you are using a weight class or 2 too light and aiming for 30 reps. So this is all about load moved here. And this movement's amazing. It's very similar to like from the aerobic standpoint of like rowing, where like you're using 80% of the muscles in your body. It taxes almost everything. There are not many things not engaged or active while you are going through this motion, which is why I love it so much. And I do it a lot on back day, more so than leg day, because I think it requires more from your trunk and your ability to not only transition power from your legs via your trunk, being the conduit there, but the amount of stability and trunk awareness you need to get the appropriate weight up to your shoulder via kind of like that hang clean motion when the ball is lying on your legs is just incredible amount. And kind of like the rower, like, the couple of muscles you're not using are like your chest, your triceps. On the rower, you're not really using like your adductors or abductors much because you're in one plane of motion the entire time. Whereas this ball pickup, because of the volatility and the instability of the weight on your legs, you actually those muscles are stabilizing your lower body. So again, there's a lot going on here. I love it to death if you haven't gotten the gist of that yet. Try to take that serious. Try to find the right weight under the assumption you're comfortable with the movement. When we get into the second block, it's a 14-minute EMOM. It's going to look like 15, but the last minute you're going to use as a transition into the 5-minute EMOM. which is just a pick a calorie count and repeat it every single minute on the minute. So that's how you'll end class. That one's pretty black and white. I don't think there's much explanation there. But we haven't done something like this in a while. So we're really going to hit your grip strength here, a 30-second hold followed by 30 seconds of a death march, whether you actually want to march in your lane or just stay stationary and do the death march. Moving is obviously superior over staying stationary, so just keep that in mind if you have space in your lane, which you should if you just make some space. But ultimately, it's a 60-second hold, right? And any type of hold or carry is fantastic for spinal integrity, along with every other muscle in your trunk and your back. But the death march is really going to put emphasis on your trunk, and I've talked a lot in class recently about having abdominal awareness, trunk awareness, spinal integrity awareness, and when we put you into this hinging motion with added load, especially after already holding onto the weights for 30 seconds, for another 30 seconds, it's really going to force you to pay attention to your midsection and making sure you're engaged and you're breathing appropriately. And again, the death march just hammers your posterior chain, so it fits right into the monthly emphasis as well. And then you got the dumbbell pull-throughs. I would suggest doing these in a bear plank, so just keep that in mind. If you do these in a bear plank, we're kind of like indirectly targeting the monthly emphasis as well. A lot of you guys that have done this know that in a bear plank, your quads are just on fire. Your hip flexors have a lot going on as they try to stabilize you. And again, back to the whole trunk awareness, and you got to stay neutral, shoulders level with your hips. And then as you pull body across your body, across your abdomen, your torso, we're back to the whole spinal and trunk awareness and integrity. So all in all, this all just fits really, really well together, and you get to finish with kind of this bang on the bike. If you guys put a little thought into this, especially those that watch these videos, knowing that the bike is coming, knowing it's only 5 minutes, it's an excellent opportunity for you guys to treat this as like over expected. If you're somebody that knows you can do, the 8-minute biking baseline, 10 calories, like maybe you're aiming for 12 or 13 here. Like if you go into it with a plan and take the emotions out of it, the fatigue out of it as you transition from this EMOM into the bike, you're going to be, situated and better suited to be as effective as possible and get the most out of this EMOM that you can. So again, just a little bit of thought, and that's kind of the point of why these videos exist.